Welcome to New Music Hot Takes. Today we're going to listen to Blaqk Audio's cover of George Michael's Father Figure. I'm Nate, that's Ant, John, and James. We're going to take 20 seconds each, give our hot take on the song, then we're going to vote to see if it makes our list of music you should listen to.
Father Figure by Blaqk Audio. As far as covers go, I think it's a good cover. It sounds good for sure, especially when it starts off. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of the song. I think the louder singing doesn't really sync with the softer singing, and I don't have more time.
In your eyes.
So I think that the sound of this accentuates Davey Havok's voice, but it also accentuates the creepiness of this original song. You go back and look at the lyrics, and it's like a stalker who's misunderstood, realizes he's a criminal, obsessed with this childlike object. And then you go look at the video where it's basically De Niro's taxi cab driver.
But you'll never understand me.
Blaqk Audio's Father Figure. Wow. 2 George Michael covers, both amazing, gotta say. Glad I listened to this one. Did anybody else hear? Now I'm gonna save this for the talk later. Davey Havok, you suck.
George Michael was a very boring icon of the 80s and 90s that married a fine gentleman who looked like his identical twin. But that couldn't stop him from making this awkwardly sexual song that could be mistaken for a priest manifesto. That said, Davey Havok did an awkwardly good job of covering it. It's shorter, it sounds way better in almost every sense. Well done, Davey.
Going back to the hair salon, this was a #1 hit for weeks, and I think it was on the charts for like 20 weeks. I looked it up on Wikipedia, so I heard this song a lot. And when I was a kid, I thought, oh yeah, he wants to be a father figure. He wants to be like a dad. You know, he's a good dad. And then now that I hear it again, I'm like, no, he doesn't want to be a dad. He wants to be your daddy. There's some creepy lyrics in here about love shouldn't be a crime. Put your tiny hands in mine. He's like, if you're a desert, I'll be your sea. And I think that Davey Havok I think the band did such a good job here because if you go back and listen to the original, you've got this choir going. It makes it sound, you know, this almost uplifting song. But by getting rid of all the harmonies and just having that single track of Davey Havok's voice, it's like we're stuck claustrophobically inside this strange, disturbed man's head. And again, I think going back and watching the video, the original George Michael, I can't help but make the comparison with De Niro's Taxi Driver, which came out exactly a decade before this.
Every breath you take.
Exactly. Something is going on in the 80s.
Yeah, this is a weird song. I went back and listened to the original after listening to this, and I felt dirty listening to this song. Like, I wanted to go take a shower. This version or the original? No, the original. But when you go back and listen to the Blaqk Audio version, like you were saying, James, it's scaled down, and actually a lot of the lyrics get cut at the end. This is a shorter version with some lyric cuts.
Ready for this? Davey Havok channeled his inner Weird Al as soon as the Father Figure line came in.
I will be your father figure. Eat it. Get yourself an egg and feed it.
He sounds just like goddamn Weird Al.
I thought the pairing of the deep bass that Blaqk Audio does, which does sound like Power Man 5000 from like 2003, mixed with Davey Havok being the only other melodic thing going on. I liked it. It sounds like Blaqk Audio, typical Blaqk Audio, but I thought it was fun to listen to. But once you listen to the lyrics, it just gets really weird.
Yeah, I think musically it sounded good. You know, we talked about in our other video...
How not to do a cover?
How not to do a cover. I feel the same way. If you're going to do a cover, put your spin on it. Don't replicate it exactly. It's like, really, what's the point of it? And for sure, Blaqk Audio did it. So, you know, if that's in that criterion, they got 10 out of 10. They did.
Did I listen to the right song?
You know what?
We all listened to we all listen to the same song? That sounded like a modern more techno-y, or not techno-y, but like just it sounded like they took George Michael's song and just redid it exactly the same. And going back to your other video, what do you say no for? They both sound like a garbage pile, a hot dumpster.
Well, you may not like them, but
It's
there's no choir.
It's a deeper
the strings
bass.
are muted.
It's a deeper bass.
Well, even the way they do the keyboard hook, I mean, it's not at all the same. It's that darker, deeper kind of 80s dark wave style.
It's the same goddamn song.
Well, what do you
There
want
was
him to do?
nothing-
Bust out the accordion and do the polka? Like, go
Might as well. He sounds
Weird
like
Al?
Weird Al.
Yeah, he wants to go for Weird Al.
You serious? You don't know. Everybody knows you never go full.
Picard.
So if you guys don't know, Blaqk Audio's other person is actually the guitar player from AFI. So it's Davey Havok, and I don't know the guitar player's name, but it's those two without the bassist and the drummer.
You know what? They should just get the bassist and the drummer and go back to AFI.
But that's why they made a separate band, so they could do something different.
I get what you're saying. You don't like
don't.
both covers, but I think that the Crosses cover sounds so close to the original. This has similarities because it's a cover, but in terms of musical style, I think they're very, very different.
Outside of the analog recording versus the digital recording, they're pretty much, and the timing, like the George Michael version has a way longer intro, which is why it's 26 minutes, and this one's only 17 minutes. Outside of that, it's pretty much the same damn song.
Well, it is a cover.
I think all you guys need to get your goddamn ears checked. Get your goddamn ears checked. You guys are disappointing me.
Yeah, maybe we did listen to something differently, because in the other video it was almost indistinguishable, the one to the other, right? Maybe the singer sounded a little bit different, but still tried to. But even Nate said that you were looking at the verses and they cut out lyrics, cut out chunks of it. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, maybe there's one of us here that needs to get their ears checked, and then or there's three of us here that need to get their ears checked.
Yeah.
You could be one or the other.
So stylistically, right? The one thing we said that about Crosses is there's a little 3-second clip at the end where it sounds like the channel Trent Reznor. The rest of it's pretty straight, like the George Michael version. This is Trent Reznor style industrial throughout, and Trent Reznor and Weird Al, but throughout the entire song. So I think at least on that score, looking at this versus Crosses, which came out on the same day, by the way, interestingly enough, this is a far superior cover, I would argue.
The thing that stuck out to me vocally the most, outside of when he gets to those high notes and sounds identical to Weird Al, is the one part, like kind of towards the end, where the music's kind of quiet and he goes, "I'll be your daddy."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, boy.
Well, again, he's
My
accentuating the weirdness of this song, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Because it was a huge hit. People listening to it like, oh yeah, Father Figure, it's great.
I like how you said was past tense.
Father Figure is on the Nay list for me.
Thank God.
To the point. I think it's worth a listen, especially in light of the previous George Michael cover that we listened to by Crosses. So I'm going to say yay list.
I don't need to say anything. What do you think I'm going to say? You think I'm going to give this a thumbs up? I just bragged on it for the past 20 minutes. I'm not going to say yes. No, absolutely not. This shouldn't even go on a nay list.
All right. I'm going to say yay. And I'll say yay because I like Blaqk Audio. And if you like Blaqk Audio, this sounds like typical Blaqk Audio. But if you go listen to the George Michael's version and you start picking up on like the full lyrics, this will make you kind of disgusted. But this is a much better version, so